What's up,
Hi,
y'all?
everybody.
How y'all doing?
So we want you guys to subscribe.
We do.
It's very helpful. We have grown a lot on IG.
We actually have.
In the past couple of months.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
And we want that growth on YouTube.
It'll happen because of you.
Exactly.
So do it now.
All right.
Paragon 7 Studios.
Just between you and me, this is love. There's no tricks. Ooh, there's love.
Welcome to Just Shot in April,
This is
the relationship podcast. Your place to level up your intimacy.
Yes.
Did I say level up or level up? I meant to say level up.
Level up. You can say that.
Like snuffleupagus?
That's taking it up another notch.
Yeah, exactly.
You level up.
Level up. You know what I'm saying? Don't just level up. You know what I mean? Paragon 7 Studios here, Lance J Radio Network. So glad to be with you once again. I am
Yes,
so excited because of what we're
always.
starting with today. It is so funny to me. This dude, Peyton Manning, is hilarious,
He is
okay?
hilarious.
This dude gonna say in public that he wants his letter and his wine back that he gave to Tom Brady as a retirement present.
Listen, let me tell you something. That is so funny because it's a 2-page letter.
So he poured his heart into that
He went
joint.
in. You know, it's like you don't really want anybody to hear those in-depth
Right,
feelings of
right,
love
right.
until you really gone.
And
You know what I'm
retire.
saying?
How you gonna come back? You be like, I'm unretiring.
Right.
So is there like an etiquette? Is there some, like, what's the etiquette on that? Like,
Okay,
if you
so-
give somebody a gift for retirement, can you take it back or request it back? Or should he even be having to request it? Should Tom Brady just be like, yo, man, let me put this on ice for a little
Exactly.
while? You know what I'm saying?
Or, you know what? Come over and drink this with me because
Right.
you need to enjoy this.
For real. Because
Since-
I'm unretired.
Exactly. So let me tell you, listen, there might be an etiquette to this.
There probably is.
Because my dad said when he went off to go to the army,
I remember this.
remember this?
Yes.
They threw him this huge going away party.
Yes, I
right.
remember.
Everybody at the church and all his friends and family came together
All
to
supporting
send him
him,
off,
loving him.
supporting him.
Yeah.
And then the army was like, "Yo, your feet are too flat.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to,
yeah.
you know,
You can't
go
stay
to
here."
Vietnam right
Exactly,
now."
right.
And he's like, "Yo, I can't go back home after
Right.
that."
Right.
So
But
anyway,
he didn't come back home. He
he
actually
didn't. He ended up being a white coat.
Exactly.
And that was actually
he found a way to
good
still
thing.
serve his country,
Right.
and all that because he didn't want to have to face all that giving back the stuff that he got or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So he was a medic.
Right.
So being able to go and still do medical things, he
yes.
was still very much. As a matter of fact, and you guys can look up what white coats did. It's amazing
Yeah.
what they did, but it really influenced and helped out with the vaccines that we have now.
Exactly.
So
yeah, so he put his life on the line.
He
still, you know what I'm
definitely was still very brave.
saying? Right. That's true.
But the point is, he knew there was an etiquette there. Like,
Yeah.
I can't go back.
Yeah. After they did all that for
After
me,
they
I
gave
can't be
me
like, oh, I'm not
money.
going no more. Oh, I'm back. Whoa. Where's all the
Right.
stuff we gave you?
Exactly.
So Tom, give your junk back, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Get
at least
that
invite the dude over for
Yeah,
dinner
yeah,
and
yeah,
serve him
exactly.
the wine. Because I'm sure it was very expensive wine. Probably a bottle you don't want to open.
Exactly.
Okay, unless it's a celebration, like
Right.
a big celebration.
Right.
But
Exactly.
that is actually very funny.
That's hilarious, man. Anyway, so listen, I don't know what Tom Brady's going to do this season, but it's very interesting that he's come back. He's obviously not the only person to unretire. Michael Jordan did it famously twice.
True.
And there are others who, for whatever reason, decided to come back to the game.
And I'm sure
so-
they got gifts and letters and all that too.
Probably right.
Listen, I would love to hear the story of Michael Jordan's
I would love
retirement.
to hear that. Me too.
Because I bet you he got a lot of sentimental.
You're probably right, man.
Oh my goodness! And
What
then
did he
had,
do?
And
Did he give
then
it back?
look, and then had to come back and play with those dudes.
You're right.
So
It's
that was
true.
in their heads.
And then when he retired the
knows
second
that
time-
look, he knows that I think he's the greatest, and he
Right.
knows that I think he's better than
Right,
me. And
right. Now I'll say this: his first retirement was so abrupt. I don't know if he got anything for that.
Okay.
I think we
Okay.
all had this feeling that he might come back. The second retirement after the next 3 set of championships,
Yeah.
that one felt like it was the end. And then of course he came back and played for the Wizards.
Right.
But anyway, so we'll look into that.
He got some gifts.
Yeah,
he
we'll
got
look
some
into that,
letters.
find out for
I
the next show.
I guarantee that. And you know what? Some people might have sent letters after.
True.
You know, even though it was abrupt, it's
You're
like,
right.
you know, they did.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
What did he do with that stuff? Now
That's funny.
You keep letters.
You
though.
can, but it's
You know what
just
I'm saying?
funny because how does it make the person who sent it feel?
Right. That's true.
You know?
It's hilarious.
So,
All right, so tonight we're talking about April Love. and
Yes, we're
Robin
talking about
Thicke.
Robin Thicke and April Love. They are engaged now.
Yes.
They have 3 kids together.
Right.
But they are engaged and ready to tie the knot and make it official.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And so April, she gets a lot of comments on her posts and stuff like that.
I like that name.
I do too.
Do you?
I like calling someone else that. I like April Love.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's a model. And she's known to respond to comments that are, you would say that are negative.
She likes to clap back.
She likes to clap back. And, a lot of celebrities don't. They ignore it.
Yeah.
They don't even read them at all.
Right.
Because sometimes I comment on celebrity stuff and I'm like, they ain't even going to read this because they don't read no comments.
Right.
But whatever, their assistant will read them.
Right,
maybe.
right, maybe.
Okay. So April actually reads some of her comments and she responds to the negative ones that come and then she claps back, which is hilarious.
Right.
So
That's very April of her, actually. I know another April that does similar things.
I don't do that.
Yes, you do.
No, I'm tempted and you tell me no. You say leave that alone.
Okay.
Come on, babe. You say
hold
leave
on,
it
hold
alone.
on. There was this one time we put a poll on Facebook. And somebody responded with something, and you came back, and literally every single human being loved your comment and then responded to it because of how good you clapped back on it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I'll remind you after the show. So you're good at it. Definitely.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not always doing that. I check with you first.
You're right.
Because I want to make sure, should I really do that?
I'm just saying it must be an April trait.
It must be April trait. Okay. So she is known for that. And I'll give you an example. She was pregnant with one of her children.
Yeah.
And so she decided to take a nude photo. She's a model, whatever. And she decided to take a nude photo and post it on Instagram of her being pregnant. And she said something like, the caption said something like, this is me as a baby's mama or something like that. A baby mama, something like that, being funny.
Right.
And somebody responded with, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you post this, whatever?
Right.
And she responds with, I'm mowing the lawn. What does it look like? Which is hilarious. Okay. That is hilarious. And the perfect response.
Right.
I love it. And so the person responded with, you're doing too much.
You need to say that for your husband.
Yeah, you need to save that for your husband. You save your body for your husband, whatever. And she was like, first of all, I'm not married and my body is mine. So whatever.
Right,
so
right.
she came back again.
Right.
Anyway, she's just known to do that.
That's what she do.
That's what she do.
Right.
Okay. So this time when I guess people found out she was engaged, somebody, didn't come at her in a negative way, but was just like
asking about prenups and stuff.
Do you plan on signing a prenup?
Right.
And she was like, no, because we're going to be, this is it. We're going to be married forever.
I think she said something like, he's not marrying anyone else after me.
Yes, that's what she said. He's not marrying, something like that. He's not marrying anyone else after me, so there's no need.
Right. So first of all, did you like that answer? Because here's my question about that. What my feeling is, I would say pretty much we're no prenup people. Like we're against prenups.
Are we?
I mean, I think so. Okay, I would say
I'm
this.
not against prenups
I'll
in
say,
certain situations.
I'll say we're against prenups. I'll put it this way. I think we're against the idea of going into a marriage with an escape clause.
Okay,
that's what I think we're against.
Definitely.
So I'll read what a prenup. I'll read what a prenup actually is, and technically, I would say we're not against that. But my point is, do you think it's naive of her to say he's never going to be married again, since he's been married before? You know what I'm saying?
10 years.
He was married 10 years to Paula Patton.
Yeah.
And for her to say, no, I'm not doing a prenup because he ain't married anybody else after me, is that naive? Or is that just good practice to go into marriage basically saying, this is it. I'm saying this ain't going to be nobody else.
Well, I think that this April would probably respond the same way when we first got married.
Of course.
Or when we were engaged. I would have been like, no, because we're not marrying
nobody else.
We're not marrying nobody else. We're not going to have, I'm not going in thinking we're not going to have no issues.
Right, of course.
But going in thinking this is it, yes, I think that's good. I do believe that is good.
Yes.
But I would say, be careful. I don't know the reason why Robin and Paula divorced.
You mean, right. Robin Thicke, Paula Patton.
I don't know what happened with them.
Right.
And I'm not saying you need to look at that and decide whether or not it's going to happen to you. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But like, for instance, I'm not trying to be, but if he cheated, that would kind of be in the back of my head.
You'd be thinking, is this guy a cheater?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what happened with them. I don't know if he cheated. I don't know or if she cheated. Look,
right.
It's not just the guy.
Now,
okay, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Let me ask you something else real quick. One more thing. Do you feel that the attitude that you have going into marriage makes a difference? In other words, if I go in with an exit strategy in the back of my mind, do you think that's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy that there's probably no way our relationship is going to last if I have it in my mind already? So do you think couples need to go in saying pretty much, you know what, I'm staying with you.
Yes,
like, I'm not planning to do anything else.
That. I think you should go in that because I feel like when you go in with that attitude and with that thought process, you will be willing to do whatever it takes.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So let's say we hit a rough patch.
Yeah.
And you know, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We need to figure out how to work this out.
Because this is it. This is it, right.
You know, and I feel like even though I know they are a odd couple to people, they have their, you know, relationship that they have is really different. But Will and Jada went in like that.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yes.
They announced it was like, this is it.
Yes.
So,
right.
You know, so I think
Theirs is
do
unconventional, definitely.
Right. But I'm just saying that doesn't mean we agree with everything they do.
Right,
but I do believe that when you go in with that attitude, it helps. Because I have a friend who was like, she told me, she said when she got married, she was like, well, I can just divorce.
Yeah.
And they are.
Right.
They're divorced.
There you go.
So it's like, and I'm not saying that means that, but what I am saying is, are you going to be willing to do whatever it takes?
Right. I agree with you. Okay, let me just read what a prenuptial agreement actually is. So this is the technical, and this is why, because I think we need to probably explain this before we go to our word of the day.
Yeah.
So a prenuptial agreement technically is a written contract created by two people before they get married. That's it.
That's it. So it's not about money.
It is literally just an agreement that we have before we get married. Now, technically,
everybody has a prenup.
No, I'm saying technically we could have signed a prenup that says
we're not going to do
this is it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be considered a prenup. So technically it's just what you signed before you get married.
I did not know that.
But it continues and says, a prenup typically lists all the property each person owns and specifies what each person's property rights will be after the marriage. So that's my problem.
Yeah.
So my issue is when I go in with an agreement that talks about what's going to happen after we're no longer married, I'm saying to me, that's setting it up to say, I know this probably isn't going to work. So, hey, my feeling is part of what makes marriage work is that I put my chips all the way in. I literally am all in. Like if this does not work, I'm going to end up being hurt. I think to me, love is more exhilarating when the possibility for hurt is on the table. So if it's not there, I'm protecting myself. I'm not putting myself all in. I'm not giving my full self to the other person. Right. Now, maybe somebody else has a different perspective, but that seems to be what's true to me.
Well, I agree. Okay, I totally agree with you.
However,
I feel like there are certain circumstances, Bae, where you know, somebody may feel like they need to have a written prenup signed, not because they don't think the marriage is going to last, but because they've been through like let's say an abusive relationship before, abusive marriage, right?
Yeah.
And let's say they even had kids.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And they go, you know, they end up divorcing, whatever. They end up living their life and finding someone else and marrying someone else.
Right.
And your kids are grown. They got kids. They got husbands and wives. They have moved on to their adult lives.
Yes.
And you die.
Right.
Or not die. No. Y'all divorce.
Right.
It's not necessarily death, right?
Yeah.
Or does that have to do with it too?
I'm not sure. Probably.
I think that's the will.
I think you could put everything.
That's the will.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Right. But your prenup, let's say it doesn't work out.
Right.
And I'm saying, I guess if it feels like, man, what if this actually doesn't work out and then he gets everything and my children get nothing?
Right.
And my children have nothing to do with him.
Right. Yeah.
In that way.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to be able to trust that he will give money to the children?
Another man's offspring.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about that?
I don't know. I'll answer it right after the word of the day.
Okay.
Because I think the word of the day probably fits in a little bit with this subject. And my response is along these same lines.
Okay.
So the word of the day is the word perpetual.
Perpetual. Okay. Never ending or changing. So frequent as to seem endless and uninterrupted.
Yeah. See, this is my feeling. My feeling is when you go into marriage, it's different from dating in this one way, that I am putting myself on the line for something perpetual. That this is something that I know could end, might end, because no one's perfect, because things happen that you don't anticipate,
Right.
because whatever. But that doesn't mean I have to go into it with an attitude of, oh, you know what, this isn't going to work, so
I
let me
agree.
protect myself.
I agree.
So let me just say, based on what you just said, here's where I will agree. In a situation where there is extreme money involved on either side, I can see, and we've talked to people who've told us this, which we didn't have this perspective before because neither one of us comes from money. So we didn't know this. But there is a thought process out there that says, if I have this amount of money, what protects me from knowing that the person I'm marrying isn't just marrying me for my money? And so a lot of these types have these prenups in place that basically what they're really saying is, let's take the money off the table.
Let's take the money off the table.
Let's
and
make it so that
see if you want to be with me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm saying, because I'm not part of that world, I don't understand that specifically myself. But you know what? When I put myself in their shoes, I said to myself, I get that.
Yeah.
That makes sense
Right.
to me.
And I get it when it comes to people who have children.
Yes. And they want the money to be passed down
right,
to them.
That's not
Yeah.
associated with this
Yes.
new person.
Yes.
I want my family to have this money. I can't
Right.
have it where
Right.
you have it if we
Right.
end up breaking up.
Right. That would,
Now,
that,
if
that
you
would be a
die,
travesty.
that's a whole nother thing. And I
Right.
feel like if I'm
Right.
dead, I won't even know, oh, well, you
Right.
just, I hope that it works out. But, but I'm just saying, like, if you end up breaking up,
Yeah.
God forbid, but like you said, you're both human. You can make your own choices. You might not have expected that person to be like, I'm out.
Right.
You never
That's
know.
true.
I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, of course, you don't go in like that.
So
I agree.
Let me tell you what's funny
But
about
I
this.
think people who have a lot of money, like
Yes.
you said,
Yes.
and have kids,
Yes.
or family that's not related to this new person,
Yes.
they
want to protect some things that if I had a life for 40 years without you,
That's what I'm saying.
I may want this to not be part of our
Yes.
whatever it is that we're about to
and
do
your
right now.
prenup could say we start something new here
Yes,
financially
right.
that
This
will
is
go to
just
you
for us.
if
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying. So you could put that in there too.
Here's what I will say. I will say that when we got married 21 years ago, this same conversation would have been cut and dry. We would have
Yep.
said no prenup,
no prenup.
no way, under no
No
circumstance.
way, exactly.
But I think
It
there are
means
some
you're
complexities.
not committed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And maybe we should have a longer show at another time on that. Does signing a prenup mean automatically you're not committed to the relationship? And I think those of us that don't have much would all say, yes, that's what it means. But I think when you have a lot, which we don't have a lot, I'm just saying those that
But
we know that do,
We got a lot of love, though, baby.
oh, we have a lot of love.
Got a lot of love.
There's no question about that. The people that we know that have a lot talk very differently about
They
this.
do.
And I was surprised how both people talk differently about it.
Yeah.
The wife and the husband.
Right.
They both have the same perspective because they have
Yeah.
a different way of thinking,
Both have
understanding
same-
what it's
yes.
like when you come for money. The way
Yes.
that having money basically complicates things. One person we talked to was saying, they never know. They never know when they're dating someone because they know that person knows they have money.
Yeah.
How do I know that that's not why that's why they got with me?
But time will tell.
Time always tells.
Time always tells. But
Definitely.
when we were 21 years ago, we didn't really know a lot of people
That's
with
true
money.
too. Right.
Personally,
You're
our
right.
parents knew people
Right,
with money, but
right,
I'm saying
right.
we
We did.
But now
Very
we
true.
actually know people.
Yes, and they talk to
with
us about their relationship
big bucks,
stuff.
and
Yes.
they say,
Right.
"Yo,"
Totally
and then I'm
different.
like, "Oh, you give me a different perspective." I think I
Exactly.
agree with you on that in some
Right.
instances, some circumstances, yes. So
Yeah.
we have come a long way,
Yeah.
and that shows growth. You have to
I
be
agree.
open to things
Yeah.
that don't always seem like it's just cut and dry. It's not.
Right.
Everything's not just cut and dry.
Everything's not as simple as we make it.
No, it's not.
So the point is, we wish all the best to April Love and Robin Thicke.
Yes.
We hope that everything goes well.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't marry anybody else. I
Right,
hope it's
that
just
what
them
she
for the
said
rest
is
of the-
true.
you know what I'm
That this
saying?
is
Who
it.
knows? Yeah.
No one after her,
Right.
and because they're very cute together.
They are. So we shall see. Anyway, y'all, the point is get into your perpetual mindset if you're talking about getting married. Do not go into a relationship with a exit strategy.
Exactly.
Not into a marriage. If you're going to actually say I do, make sure in your heart you want to do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and if you want to get more help with that, you can join our FIT program.
That's true. Fit for
Yeah,
Marriage
Fit for
Boot Camp.
Marriage. It
We do
starts
that.
Sunday.
It does. Yeah.
So
go to justjohnapril.com/fit and you can get more information there
or
about
go
it.
to go to IG and
Oh, that's true. You can go to our Instagram page.
and
Just John
look
and
at
April.
our
That's true.
profile.
Yeah.
And you can go from there too. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in our bio.
And I think that's a good way to start off. Beginning with coaching on how to go into this thing.
True.
So that he won't marry anybody else.
That's right.
So April and Robin, if you're watching this, hey, we're here for you.
Yeah,
hey,
we got you.
Join the FIT program, and we can guide you along the way.
That would be so crazy if they actually call us. Anyway, all right, y'all.
All right, guys.
See y'all next week.
Bye.